I love bone meal. Bone meal can turn this into this. So much better. This into this. In moments, mere moments. Need some flowers, bone meal. Need some crops, bone meal. Bone meal, bone meal. Need some diamond, bone meal. Bone meal. I bone mealed that. I might, look at that. I'm definitely not lying about that last one. The only problem with bone meal is that I run out. This is where I keep all my mob drops. I have not a single bone left. And yes, I can use plant material to compost all of my plant stuff, which, oh, I've done. Look, I have a little bit more, but it is not very fast. And I feel like I'm growing a lot more crops than I need just for bone meal. So it is time to make a skeleton farm, a skelly mob grinder. I found one earlier right here, and oh, I don't have water at the bottom of that. Ouch. So with this skelly farm that we are gonna make today, not only will I get all the bone meal that I need, but we'll also get arrows, armor, and bows for free from this skelly grinder. And I can use those bows and arrows to keep Fish Fox and Frost Fox safe from any intruder that may come by. And also, don't forget, Fish Fox and Frost Fox posters now available on helloomg.com. So we are going to be making a skeleton farm today. Let's jump into it. The first step is to clear out a big enough area for your farm to exist. And these guys, these spawners will spawn creatures in a 9x9x3, including the spawning block itself as the middle. So we are going to want to clear out an area that is 4 blocks away from the spawner, and then make sure that there's, you know, wall on the other side of that. And we're gonna make sure that we dig down, and we're gonna go down 2 blocks. So 2 blocks below the spawner. This spawn room is basically already 3 blocks tall, but we're gonna want to make sure that at least all of the space 2 blocks above it is clear. Okay, I've cleared away the area, and I went ahead and replaced the walls with this smoothest of stone, just so that if you need to, you can pause the video and follow along, just because it has these nice hard edges. Next, you're going to get 2 buckets of water, and you're going to put them into 2 of the corners of your room, and put them in the corners that you feel like are going to be basically the back of the spawner. We're going to need the spawner to go somewhere, go up, then go down, and whatnot. And I know that that way is towards my base, so I'm going to make this be the front of the spawner, and this is going to be the back. So we're going to put these in both corners, and the water will flow, and where it stops, where on the block that it stops, you're going to want to dig down 1. Looks like I'm gonna need to replace some stuff with the floor. And then you're going to clear out all of the rest that there's no water on. So all this dry area, you're gonna clear that out. Before we do, I'm gonna pull up the water just so it's not in the way, and we're gonna replace that later on in the build. There we go, that is all done, and like you can see, I replaced it with the smoothest of stone. So if we add this back, you'll notice that now the water will drop down and sort of all go towards a central point. This is what we want. So we are going to cut out a hole right there in the wall. And as you can see, the water's going to flow down here. And I am running into a cave. We're going to get this all filled in. And you're going to dig out a 3x3 area, okay? And that is including this wall. So I'm gonna just kind of stop the water right here, and you can kind of count 1 2 3 1 2 3, so 3 tall, 3 deep, and it's going but your doorway is only going to be 2 tall, so you're gonna be digging down 1 into the hopefully wall that you have. We're gonna pick up this water so it stops flowing. Now it's time to get a whole bunch more water, a whole bunch of signs, 1 fence, and 1 soul sand. Now, I scoured the internet to find an easy to follow guide so that you could have it up while you're building your very own skeleton farm. And I found one, and I'm going to put it in the description down below. And I find this as a huge help because even in a video that you pause, it can be difficult. The benefits of this farm, and what we're going to do is we're going to throw down one fence right here. And then our soul sand is going to go above the fence. And then on the edge, we are going to add our signs. And then inside of that area, we're going to add our water. And I'm going to make a infinite water source. We're just going to add that over here in our build so that we can have quick access to it. So that's just one water and then another water 2 blocks away. And then I can pull from the middle there infinitely. Then we're going to add our water in here above our soul sand. And what's going to happen with this specifically, and this is going to be a tunnel upwards, and then we're going to have our water in the corners, is as the water pushes mobs into this area, there's kind of an issue that I've always seen with other farms, which is that mobs will get caught on the edge of things. They'll get caught on the edge of walls. They'll get caught on the edge of ceilings. And it is just really not great. It happens all the time. So with this farm, the water flow, and the other water flow isn't working because I have my infinite water source there, but the water flow will push mobs in here. That fence right there will push them up half a block, and then they're already up half a block, which means that they get pushed automatically onto the soul sand block, and then they'll immediately get launched because there is nothing above them. And we're just going to go signs all the way up to the top, and because there is nothing in the way, that means that they're just going to go straight up. Oh, here we have a skeleton already. And I find that this is a very, very great improvement on the entire system. And by the way, we are going up 23 blocks. I already have 4 signs down, and I'm going to measure this basically by signs. So as long as I have only 19 signs with me, once I run out of signs, then I know that I have gone far enough. So I have just this extra sign. I'm just going to throw it on the wall until I get to it later. So up 23 blocks. And by the way, a great technique is to use your water column to your advantage. And so only go up 1 block. If you go up 2 blocks, kind of bounce a bit. And so I am using this 1 block to basically mine this out, put down all my stuff, grab a sign, put it there, grab some water, put it there, and then go back up 1 more block and then mine it out again. And this is a very, very simple way to build this up without any issues at all. You don't got to worry about really anything. And then once I'm done with my waters that I brought with me, I'll go back and get more. Okie dokie. I am done with the last of my signs. And we're going to head up to the top. I've been adding a light over here. So we're going to add this water right here. And then this is going to head up to a chamber that is going to allow us to move the skeletons from one side to the other. We'll need the floor to be 4 blocks long. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we can, of course, I'm going to continue to make this all look good. Also, when you have a chance, grab that extra sign that you thought you didn't need, but now you do need. So up here, we're going to have the water, remember, the water source block, and that is where our last sign is. And then we're going to have the 4 tiles for the floor, and then we're going to start to go down. So this is what it's going to look like once you actually add all of the walls and whatnot, and that is our hole to head down. We are going to add our last sign right there so that it will stop the water flow and you can be pushed, or the mobs can be pushed down into this area. This hole is going to need to be 22 blocks of space before we hit the bottom. I've already carved out one of them, so I'm just going to go down 21 more blocks. By the way, I ran into a cave on my way down. And if you light up any of these areas that you happen to find, it's only going to be better for you, because the less mobs in the area, the better the spawner is going to be. So if you find a dark cave, light it up. Okay, so I found the bottom. That is the bottom up there. That is 22. So we're just going to make this a tunnel all the way over to the top, back up to that top. Okay, so I have connected this, and I made a little platform, and I'm going to face towards the rest of the build. So the spawning chamber kind of came this way, and we're going to fall. And yes, it hurt, but then I'm going to open up my area. Oh, and look, there's the spawning area. This area right here, I'm going to put a block right there. This area I can now be inside of, and as the skeletons fall right here, I'll be able to hit them. We want to make sure that there was no lights in that tunnel that we originally made with the signs and the water, but there can be lights in the other tunnels that we made, the connecting one at the top and the one along this side, which comes down here. So when the skeletons land right here, they should be at only half a heart. But now I can make this area a little bit more comfortable, and I can expand it out. Remember that if we dig straight up, we're going to run into that little bridge that we made connecting the two tunnels. So we don't want to go straight up, but if I wanted to have maybe a ladder down to this area, I could aim straight up over here, just one block off, and we will be all good to go. Well, I guess we'd probably want 2 blocks off, because then we'd be running into the wall. So 2 blocks away from that area that they're standing, and that should be all good to go in terms of an exit. This area is also going to be probably the best area to stand in to AFK if you want to have the spawner going. You're within the radius of the spawner for it to constantly try to send out skeletons, but obviously you're on the other side of the wall, so you are going to have no issues. My ladder came up right here next to my habitat, so we can head back down. We need to add a hopper and a chest so that we can easily get any items that happen to come out of our grinder. But before we do, there is another thing that I want to add, because we are in 1.16. 1.16 has mob crushing, and we want to AFK here for a very, very long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop into this little area that the skeletons are eventually going to come into. And as they fall down, with their own bodies will push other skeleton away, and so we want to use water. So we're gonna actually want to make this a 3 tall chute, and we're going to want to come back. I believe it's 7 blocks. So this is a block that they're going to be standing on. We're gonna have to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is 7 blocks. Okay, let's double check this. We're gonna put our water here. Okay, nope, we're gonna want to go back 8 blocks. There we go. We want it to stop. So this is where they're going to land. This was a block. This is the block that they need to land on. That's eventually going to be a hopper. In fact, maybe we should just make this all happen right now. So we're going to clear out an area for our chest, and we want to make sure that the chest can open. So this cannot be a solid block above it, but it could be stairs, or it could be a slab, anything like that. And we're gonna want to make sure that the skeletons can't see us, so we're gonna keep that block up there. And so now we can open up that chest. Eventually, we're gonna keep that block there. For now, we're gonna break this out, and we are going to replace that with a hopper going into that chest. And so now we can open that. So we want this water flow to end at this hopper. Okay, I'm just making this area look good. Okay, there we go. So the skeletons will be able to be pushed back, and they won't be crushed to death if there's more than a few of them in this area. I'm also going to add a carpet on our hopper, which is one of the reasons we wanted the water just to end right here. And that's just to make sure. I'm not 100% positive of this one, but if they fall into the middle of the hopper, there's a chance that that's technically too many blocks and then they'll die instead of just take the appropriate amount of damage. So now that that is in place, there's a chance as some of the skeletons head back down there that they may be able to spy you with their faces and try to attack. So we can add a slab on the top of here just to make sure that that doesn't happen. We can do that to both sides so we can still see their feet, attack them with our sword, and hopefully get all of their drops. And all of this should now be able to work. So we're gonna break into our build from just right here. This little wall right here should be able to be broken into. And now we are in this killing chamber. So we're going to just remove all of the lights. And this used to be the way that I would get down into this. And we're going to just put that back up. By the way, these blocks right here, they're there to make sure that nothing spawns on the top of the spawner. If something spawns on the top of the spawner, then the spawner won't spawn another like thing because there's stuff there. You know, it'll only do like a maximum of 4 things in this area. So if there's something standing there, we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to remove all of the lights. This should start working kind of immediately. Then we're going to jump through that little hole. We actually may have some problems because it might be hard to get through just a too tall hole there. And oh, and also we're going to pick up all of this. Because we don't need that anymore. And of course, we got some issues here. There we go. Get into our spawner here. We're going to add this and then add our water back to each corner. And that'll knock out any of the lights on the floor. Then everything will be flowing this direction. And I want to go right through there. And I don't think I'll be able to. I think that this is going to push me through. Oh, woohoo! I did it. I don't know how I did it. I feel like that was a little bit of a glitch, but I did it. And we're back on the other side and we can put that wall up. So let's see. I hit that skeleton, that first skeleton that went through. So let's see if this is going to work. By the way, once tinted glass is a thing, we could totally put up some tinted glass, which doesn't let light through, so we can see in there. Looks like we got a skeleton. We got 2 skeletons. Now that skeleton with the armor, he's not going to be a one-punch kill skeleton because of the armor, but looks like his buddy over there. Well, the first one we hit was. And this guy, do you have a helmet on? Feels like it. Well, it definitely seems to be working. Of course, this is going to be more of an AFK situation. Hiya! Get wrecked. And so we are going to want to try to AFK here. By the way, we can get those XP if we just crouch right up against that chest there. So already we're getting stuff. This is fantastic. And I guess I'll AFK here for a while, and we'll see how well it works. Hey Siri, start a timer for 30 minutes.
Your timer is set for 30 minutes.
It's been 30 minutes. Okay, so just looking at this, there's a lot more. There's definitely crushing going on. Actually, I think that I just walked in front of them and they all got mad at me. And they're all attacking each other because they could kind of like see me a little bit. Either way, they were a little bit more bunched up than I expected. I think that this fight is just going to go on forever now because of what I have caused here. But it looks like it worked pretty good. Pretty. I'm not upset with that. My poor hopper can't handle all of the items because of how many there are. Here we go. I'll throw some of this stuff in there. Wait, is that? Oh, no, that's my bow. So after 30 minutes, let's check out this hopper. Okay, we don't have a lot in there. After 30 minutes, this is what we got for our AFK. That is a lot of bones, which means that I have now a lot of bone meal. Because now, with all the bone meal in this world, I am the Bone Meal King. I'll sit on my bone throne, made with all the bone meal that I've collected in my skeleton spotter, and be happy as the Bone Meal King. That's right. Praise be the Bone Meal King. The Bone Meal King has one command, and that is that you buy the Fish Fox and Frost Fox poster. Now available on HelloOMG.com. And if you don't, I am going to take away their sweet berry bushes. That's right, the Bone Meal King has no mercy I will destroy these sweet berry bushes, and then Frost Fox and Fish Fox will never know the sweet taste of berries. Shout out to Skylar for purchasing a poster recently. Thanks so much for getting one. You can buy a poster. Maybe you'll be shouted out in the next video. Thanks so much for watching this episode of How to Minecraft. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMGcraft. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye!